News 10 NBC at 6 starts with your First Alert weather now.
Good evening. I'm meteorologist McDonald, and we are looking at temperatures that are pretty chilly right now considering the weather we've dealt with lately. 37 in Rochester, 37 in Sodus. It's still 40 in Dansville. Wellsville's at 33 and Pena's at 40 degrees. We are much cooler than where we were at this time yesterday. In fact, 12 degrees colder in Rochester, 10 degrees colder in Buffalo, and 10 degrees colder in Dansville. You can certainly feel the chill as you step outside. And did you have a chance to see any wet snowflakes? Kind of a slushy, not a real snowflake, but you know what I mean, wet slushy snowflakes. I saw a few this morning in Webster, but we're definitely seeing some snow in the southern tier this evening. Some of this will push into our viewing area. I'm going to have a closer look at all of this coming up in my full First Alert forecast coming up in just a couple minutes.
In depth, investigative. This is News 10 NBC at 6.
Tonight, Rochester is marking another 3 homicides in 12 hours, and a new state of emergency isn't stopping the killing count from going up. Good evening, I'm Charles Molineaux. Police are investigating multiple homicides in the city just one day after Mayor Lovely Warren declared a state of emergency over recent violence. And in Irondequoit, police are also investigating what they're calling a suspicious death. News 10 NBC's Stephanie Duprey is there live right now. Stephanie?
Yeah, Charles, it has been a busy day for police. Right now, we're on the corner of Culver and Nixon, where Irondequoit police tell us that they found a woman dead in her home while checking on her well-being. We did get a quick update from Irondequoit police tonight, right before our show started, where they gave us a little bit information that they're still investigating. They're not identifying this woman, and they're still working on what happened here tonight. But we want to give you more on what happened and the shooting that happened earlier this afternoon. So we'll go to that right now. Police tell us they responded to Pioneer Street around noon for a report of a person shot. Once they arrived on scene, they found 2 people who were shot. One man was in his 30s. He was dead on scene. A second man, also in his 30s, was taken to the hospital where he's in stable condition right now. RPD says it's most likely a domestic-related incident and that they're talking to some people now who they're calling possible suspects.
We are talking to people right now. I do not believe the suspect is a stranger. We believe that it's most likely domestic related. But again, it's just way too early.
Again, police say that the murder on Pioneer is still under investigation. As for here in Irondequoit, like I told you earlier, we're still waiting on more details from police. As we get those details, we'll bring them right to you. For now, live in Irondequoit, Stephanie Duprey, News 10, NBC.
Thanks, Stephanie. At the same time, police are also investigating 2 separate deadly shootings overnight, including a shootout that killed an innocent bystander. Investigators say 2 people were shot just before midnight on West Avenue outside the PI Lounge. 38-year-old Stephen Morgan died. Police say he was not the intended target of the shooting and was a passenger in a parked vehicle caught in the crossfire. Another man was shot. He was taken to the hospital and is currently in stable condition. A preliminary investigation shows at least 24 shots were fired. Another man is dead after yet another shooting. This one happened in the parking lot outside the Black Bear Pub on West Ridge Road. At about 2 a.m., police found a man shot. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Police are asking anyone who was at either of those scenes last night to call 911 with any information you might have. Also tonight, a Rochester man is recovering after being stabbed in the city. In this case, police responded to a call on Garson Avenue just after 10 last night. The victim was taken to the hospital. He is expected to survive. Many have been asking if a curfew could help during the latest state of emergency in the city. The mayor did once have the power to impose a curfew. That ended with a lawsuit in 2009. City leaders we spoke to say it would not be an effective solution to the violence.
The reason why the curfew is not a good idea, even if it was legal, is because we're seeing these homicides happening during the day. This is Rochester. This is not New York City. This is not Chicago. This is not LA. This is a small, 2 to 3 degrees away from separation. We know who are doing these crimes. Let's get them and get them off of our streets. Amen.
At the same time, state police are investigating a deadly crash in Genesee County. Troopers responded to the intersection of Star Road and Crossman Road in the town of Pavilion at about 2:30 yesterday afternoon. A car going south went off the road and hit a utility pole. One person was dead at the scene. Another person in the car was taken to Strong Hospital but is expected to survive. Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo could be taking a shot at a comeback in a familiar role. A new report from the New York Post suggests he could make a run at Attorney General. The Post says this comes from sources with direct knowledge of Cuomo's planning. Cuomo was New York's AG from 2007 to 2011. Right now, he still has about $18 million in campaign cash at his disposal. Cuomo resigned as governor in August after investigation by current Attorney General Letitia James accused him of sexual misconduct. James is now running for governor herself. America's coronavirus numbers are reaching stunning new levels. Since the start of the pandemic, the U.S. is now at 47 million cases of the virus. That's according to a new tally by NBC News. The increase comes just 13 days after the country reached 46 million cases. More than 765,000 Americans have died of it so far. Some states have seen their case numbers go down, while those numbers are going up in cold weather states. Southern states, such as Florida and Texas, who saw much of the summer's COVID surge, now have some of the lowest case rates. They now account for just 6% of all cases. News 10 NBC is taking a closer look at a murder case that drew national attention. Colin Rideout and his mother. They were convicted and sent to prison for the death of his father. On Monday, Brett Davidson will take us to Attica Prison to ask Colin Rideout all the tough questions about what happened in July 2016 and the days that followed. You can see the Colin Rideout interview Monday night at 5, only on News 10 NBC. Still to come on News 10 NBC, now the National Guard's being called into Kenosha, Wisconsin, ahead of the decision in the controversial trial of a teenager.
And there are definitely some snowflakes in our forecast. Are you happy or not so happy about that? Either way, I'll have the details coming up in just a couple minutes.
Tonight, police now have a suspect for the rape of a jogger in New York Central Park. 25-year-old Paulie Velez was taken into custody today. He is accused of attacking a 27-year-old woman in the park, choking her until she lost consciousness, and then sexually assaulting her. Central Park does not have interior surveillance cameras, but authorities were able to retrace the suspect's steps with the use of outside cameras and photos that helped to identify Velez from a subway station and a store. One suspect is dead after a wild chase that led to a shootout in the Houston area. The man was wanted for allegedly shooting at a constable's office building earlier in the week. Bill Barajas reports the man even called a local TV station.
The chase went up and down several key parts of our city. Many could do little but sit back and watch as it ended.
We were here the entire time. We just got back from a long trip, but it was probably about at least 20 shots fired.
The suspect leading HPD and Harris County Precinct 4 constables on a 45-minute chase. At one point, he entered downtown. The fear is that he would endanger hundreds during the Veterans Day Parade.
We gave the order this morning to pause the start of the Veterans Day Parade. I did not want that parade to begin and get people on the parade route, and so we had immediately already began staging resources in the downtown area.
Authorities say the suspect is believed to be the man responsible for firing at a Precinct 4 substation and has been on the run since Monday. The suspect called KPRC 2 around 5 o'clock this morning, wanting to tell his side of the story. We immediately called the Precinct 4 constable's office and gave them his contact information.
Today, the tip we received from Channel 2 helped kind of narrow in as to his location and what area he would be in. And, luckily one of our patrol units in South Houston spotted the vehicle, initiated a traffic stop, and he chose to flee from deputies.
That's Bill Barajas. National Guard members are on standby in Wisconsin ahead of the decision in the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse. Yesterday, Governor Tony Evers signed an order authorizing about 500 troops to assist authorities in Kenosha. Officials say they'll stage outside of town to be ready if local law enforcement asks for help. Rittenhouse is on trial for the shootings of 3 people during a night of unrest on the streets last year. 2 of them died. His defense rested its case on Thursday afternoon Closing arguments are scheduled to begin on Monday morning. A big new sign of Christmas is now in place in New York. The Rockefeller Center Christmas tree has arrived. It is a 79-foot spruce from Maryland. It stood in a family's yard for nearly 85 years. Now it's being installed in Midtown Manhattan. The tree will be dressed with more than 50,000 LED lights and topped with a Swarovski crystal ahead of its lighting debut on December 1st. Giant balloon test flights are underway ahead of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Macy's Balloon Fest took place today in Queens. The event features test flights of new giant character balloons to prep for the annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. There are several new balloons making their debut this year, such as Ronald McDonald, Pikachu, and Grogu, or Baby Yoda, as he's been called, from Disney's The Mandalorian. And that's a big thing, but the night before Thanksgiving is another one. In Central Park West, they start blowing those balloons up, and boy, is that a party. The streets are closed. It could be freezing cold. People are out there.
Yeah, no problem. It's an exciting time of year for sure, and Mother Nature is finally taking the cue to bring a little bit of colder weather our way. I'll have all the details coming up. Stay with us.
A Dallas school district is trying to cultivate a new generation of medical and science leaders by starting early. Very early. It's teaming up with the University of Texas to create a biomedical school that starts in pre-K. Noelle Walker has the story.
UT Southwestern is a teaching campus where medical professionals hone their skills. It's also a place for those who are just beginning to learn. Next year, this unlabeled building at the corner of Mockingbird and Forest Park will unlock young minds, a place where elementary education and medicine meet.
So they put one building with my two passions in it, so I went for it.
Roberto Gonzalez wasn't always a principal. He was a doctor in his native Colombia. He says it's never too early to get children thinking about a future career in medicine.
What is your hope that going to a school like this will do for these kids once they graduate?
So I want them to go and explore all the science careers, right? It could be medicine, it could be nursing, it could be biochemical, one of those. But I want them to come out with the skills to change the world.
The school will have components of STEM education with labs, virtual reality, field trips, and lectures from UT Southwestern staff. The goal is to cultivate passionate, out-of-the-box thinkers.
We think of science as something that's brains up here, but I'm hearing you say science is in here too.
Yes, science is a profession of the heart, because the first part of science is trying to solve a problem that will improve the quality of life.
Gonzalez's philosophy is to celebrate student successes and mistakes.
Science in general is based on that, making mistakes to improve the world, right? Like those setbacks, those things are the ones that bring the greatest discoveries of all time.
The next time there's a pandemic, these might be the students with the solution.
We'll be ready. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
For NBC News, I'm Noelle Walker.
Now, your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Amanda McDonald, featuring Rochester's only live local radar. First Alert Doppler 10.
That was such a nice story. I would love to go to school there, or at least have my kids go to school there. Sounds amazing. As we take a look, we did see that sun come out right before it set tonight. We saw some sun here and there, a few wet snow showers, very slushy, and we are seeing those clouds kind of clear out overnight for most of us. But if you live farther south at the higher elevations, I'm talking about Naples, Italy Hill, places like Dansville. I know that's not a higher elevation, but you may see a little bit of slushy, wet snow overnight tonight. No significant accumulations are expected with this. But remember, it's the first time around, and so just take it easy. There's still a lot of leaves that have just started to fall down, so the roads will be slick as well. And then as we wake up tomorrow morning, you may see a quick sprinkle, a quick wet snowflake, but that's it. And then we'll see some sunshine. Then around 2, 3 o'clock, we have a quick slipper coming through. What does that mean? It'll bring a quick burst of some rain showers on Sunday that will change over to some wet snow showers Sunday night. No significant accumulations are expected from this, but we may see a few slick spots during the morning commute on Monday morning, so we'll certainly keep you posted. 37 degrees right now at the Greater Rochester Airport. Feels like 30. The wind, a little bigger, brisk overnight, around 10 to 20 miles per hour coming in out of the west-southwest. It is 37 in the city, 40 in Dansville, 40 in Penn Yan, and 37 degrees in Sodus. Kenosha is one of our cooler spots, 34 degrees already, 36 in South Bristol, and 37 in Leroy. Here's a look at the big picture for you. Again, some lake effect snow for places like Jamestown, Dunkirk, the ski area, in the southern tier. And we are going to see just the southern edge of our area getting in on some of this. Some of Wyoming County may see a little bit of slushy accumulations at the higher elevations. And as we put this into motion, this is 8:45 tonight. Again, Dansville, Naples, right on the edge, Penn Yan on the edge of this as well. No major problems. Now, as we wake up tomorrow morning, a quick sprinkle, quick wet snowflake, that's about it. Then by the afternoon, rain showers changing over by tomorrow night to some wet snow showers. Very minimal accumulations, traced to a slushy inch at the higher elevations, but traced at the lower elevations. And then we'll see some lake effect rain/snow on Monday. So we're really getting right into it. 34 degrees overnight tonight, colder, breezy, some lake effect snow well south of the thruway. 41 degrees, some sunshine for the first half of the day. Rain changes to snow. And here is Rochester's only 10-day forecast. We're looking at temperatures that are, right around where they should be. But then we're going to really warm up on Wednesday briefly, 60 and some sunshine, and then cooler again as we head into the extended forecast. Charles?
Thanks, Amanda. Well, coming up, a young boy who's dealt with some struggles is headed to a dream job in an iconic American toy land just in time for Christmas. Stay with us. An icon of the toy world is calling up a New York boy to be a star ambassador as we head towards Christmas. After more than 150 applications, an 8-year-old from Queens has been picked to be chief storyteller for FAO Schwartz. And Gilma Avalos reports this young star could use the lift.
Kids stepping into FAO Schwartz are on the hunt for their dream toy. But last month, dozens of kids walked in here in search of a dream job.
Once upon a time...
Up for grabs, the job of Chief Storytelling Officer for WHEC, a toy company known for its realistic animal sets. Over 150 kids gave it their best shot.
My name is Marcello.
8-year-old Marcello Brucaleri from Queens was the first up and wowed the judges from the start.
And then the animals were like, surprise! And then he was like, wow.
Here he is getting the good news from one of his new bosses via Zoom.
I'd like to offer you the job right now.
I'll take it.
The third grader will be the star of WHEC's holiday campaign and get $10,000 in prize money, which the family will set aside for his future.
Me getting picked, it was just amazing feeling. Me getting picked out of all those kids.
His biggest fans, his family, always knew he was a star.
And I'm not just saying that because I'm his mom. There is something magical and amazing about Marcello. He's just so awesome.
But this is a victory for other reasons.
Where we were last year to where we are today is night and day.
The judges didn't know this at the time, but last year Marcello was very sick, battling a number of illnesses.
Strep infection, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and COVID.
His doctors suspect long hauler COVID symptoms made him foggy and unlike himself.
He wasn't talkative. He seemed like he was very forgetful. He at one point didn't know who I was.
And it just shut me down.
Now healthy and just as vivacious as ever.
You're back, man.
He's ready for showbiz.
Am I in reality? Am I dreaming? Someone pinch me.
That's Gilma Avalos reporting. And of course, Schwartz, don't get more bigger and Christmassy than that.
That story gave me chills. We are definitely also going to be dealing with some chilly weather coming our way. A little bit of lake effect snow well south of the thruway. No major concerns on the first alert threat tracker.
Thanks, Amanda. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back for news on NBC at 11. See you then.